And thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm John Huddleston. The battle between the biggest cactus in town and their neighbors is over. The owners of Taco Casa and Hokkaido have been at odds in recent weeks over where the Japanese steakhouse could rebuild following the April 27th tornado. Now, the case looked like it was headed to court, but today both sides told us they had reached a settlement. WVUA's Tommy Townsend with more in tonight's top story.
Taco Casa and Hokkaido have been in legal battle since January.
After the tornado hit, Taco Casa was effectively destroyed, and Taco Casa had to rebuild at its 15th Street location. They were able to rebuild and started operating. Hokkaido was also destroyed by the tornado, and Hokkaido wanted to rebuild. So the issue was where exactly the building of Hokkaido could be placed. The original location of the building, basically on the street on 15th Street, would have severely hampered Taco Casa's operation.
Both sides originally looked for legal remedy, but after much discussion, they were able to settle out of court.
The case was brought before Judge Donaldson's courtroom, and the parties were encouraged to come to an agreement, and they did take time to discuss their differences and to come to an amicable resolution, and worked well with the city and expeditiously in making that happen. So as a result, the lawsuit will be dismissed.
The difference in reaching the settlement was really only a couple of feet. Originally, Hokkaido was supposed to be located right here, but that would have effectively blocked off view of Taco Casa. So officials say the storefront's going to be moving back a little bit, and it's going to be located about right here.
Hokkaido is going to move back away from the street and slightly more away from Taco Casa's property line. We think this will benefit both parties.
The lawyers in the case say the two businesses working together is just another solid step in the rebuilding efforts.
And I think those leadership skills are a good example, and I think it's part of Tuscaloosa growing and getting back on track after the tragedy last April.
For Alabama's home team, I'm Tommy Townsend.
The owners of Hokkaido hope to resume construction in the near future. Well, turning to news from the state capitol tonight, Governor Robert Bentley has ordered a 10.6% spending cut for state agencies. Now, Bentley ordered the proration because he said the state's general fund budget was impacted by several factors, including the cost of tornado recovery and reduced earnings from state investments. The state personnel director says she has notified several departments about procedures for layoffs. However, officials say the budget cuts do not affect the state education budget. And new problems for the state's troubled prepaid college tuition program. The Alabama Supreme Court tossed out a settlement over PACT. Officials said the settlement is void because it conflicts with state law. They said the legislature provided extra funding to PACT in 2010 to make tuition payments fully funded and not violate contracts between PACT and the contract holders. The Supreme Court said the settlement violates that because it calls for tuition to be paid at 2010 levels and for the students' families to make up the difference. Well, for the first time in 6 years, the Tide made an appearance at the NCAA tournament, and it was a nail-biter. Crimson Tide fans filled local sports bars to cheer on the Tide, and it came down to the final 2 seconds of the game. But Bama missed the final shot at the buzzer, losing to Creighton 58-57. Fans we talked to say the loss hurts right now, but it also gives them hope for the future.
Really disappointed that we didn't win, but I'm definitely encouraged for next year. I think, the team and Coach Grant have had a lot of ups and downs this year, but I'm really proud of them and glad to be an Alabama fan and just can't wait for next season.
You can't go 5 minutes in a basketball game and not make shots and win the game. But like I said, they got the right coach to do the job, and I think they'll be fine in the long run.
And WVUA's Todd Hoyer will have much more of the Crimson Tide coming up later in Alabama's home team sports. Well, all these beautiful spring-like days have folks anxious to hit the water, and we caught up with people over at Smith's Marina today. They were already packing up their boat for a day out on the lake, but Tuscaloosa police told us while the object of a day on the lake is fun, safety should come first.
One of the biggest things with warm weather just now starting up, we'd like for everybody to check their boats out good, make sure they're in good running order. You won't get stranded out here and have to call somebody to come pick you up.
For more information about boating safety, visit the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources website. For a shortcut to that website, go to ours, WVUATV.com. So if you're looking to get out on the water or have plans outside this weekend, will the beautiful conditions continue? With a first look at Alabama's home team forecast, here's Daniel Sparks. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, John. Yeah, you know, we do have some isolated pop-up showers out there across parts of Alabama, mainly to the northern part and over to the east at this point, but we can't rule out a few pop-up showers overnight tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. But as you can see, the southern half of the state is looking at partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Those new temperatures that are just out, 66 in Tuscaloosa, still 70 degrees in Birmingham and 71 down in the capital city of Montgomery. Over in Mississippi, looking at 63 in Meridian, down to the south, 68 in Hattiesburg and Macomb. Now our weekend forecast is going to be a good looking one. We do have a slight chance for some showers tomorrow on Saturday as well as Sunday, with afternoon highs in the middle to upper 80s across West Alabama. So the spring, we might have jumped over it and we're headed straight to summer, but looking good for the weekend, John.
On your Crime Watch tonight, Tuscaloosa police need your help to identify 3 suspects who were possibly involved in a theft at a well-known jeweler. Police say the theft occurred at Hudson Pool Fine Jewelers on Greensboro Avenue around 12:30 Wednesday afternoon. Police say the 3 suspects got away with a Rolex watch, and they say it's possible that the subjects in these pictures dressed as females are actually males. If you have any information that can lead to an arrest, call Crime Stoppers at 752-STOP, and you could get a cash reward. Also on your Crime Watch tonight, 43-year-old Carrie Moore of Tuscaloosa has been arrested in connection with 3 burglaries. Officials say around 11 o'clock Thursday night, Moore broke into the Asian market on Greensboro Avenue. After further investigation, they later charged him with burglaries at Honesty Bail Bonds and Fletcher Supply. A Tuscaloosa man has died 2 weeks after being attacked in his home, and now the suspect in the case is facing murder charges. According to police, on February 29th, authorities were called to the home of 64-year-old Willie Cook. Police say they found him unconscious. Witnesses said Willie Griffin assaulted Cook, and he was taken to DCH, put on life support, and died this morning. Police say the 29-year-old Griffin has now been charged with murder. Well, 2 Tuscaloosa men have been arrested in connection with a rape. Police say 21-year-old Stephen Long and 18-year-old Ladarian Lee are accused of forcing 2 juvenile females to have sexual intercourse. Police say the charge stemmed from a report back in December. And WVUA is covering Limestone County tonight, where a race for a county school board has folks talking. The reason? One of the candidates is a political newcomer in Alabama, mainly because just a short while ago, he couldn't even vote. Corey Elrod, an 18-year-old college student, is running to be on the County Board of Education, and he's already shaking things up. Ellis Eskew reports.
2 candidates running for Limestone County's District 6 Board of Education seat. One has held the office for 5 years, and one just got the right to vote.
Couldn't even vote till this year, so first time I voted, I got to vote for myself, so I won't ever forget it no matter what happens.
After Tuesday's votes were tallied, only 20 votes separated the 2 candidates. 18-year-old Corey Elrod came out on top with 383 over Hilliard's 363 votes, and now they're headed to a runoff. Though surprised, Hilliard has nice words to say about his opponent, who was actually one of his daughter's classmates.
He's a nice young man, and I respect him. He's ambitious.
But he says that doesn't mean his opponent is qualified for the job.
We're an advisory board, and I think my background in business management and in education would help me to continue to do that, whereas I think he will be a little overwhelmed possibly at first because he's not accustomed to that. He's 18 years old. He's not had a background, a life experiences to be involved in any of that.
But Elrod disagrees. He says the fact that he is young and fresh out of school will help him.
We need some younger people on the Board of Education to help them keep up to date with academically and socially what's going on inside the classroom. And just because you have kids or grandkids in school, that's not being inside the school itself and being amongst the kids and learning in that environment. So I can help them that way.
Runoff is set for April 24th. Well, switching gears, Apple's iPad hit stores this morning, and fans lined up early to get their hands on one. We found customers waiting in line at Verizon and Best Buy at Tuscaloosa. Customers we talked with said they got an early start to make sure they didn't miss the opportunity to get their own hands on the new piece of technology.
It's the Retina display, which is the same one that's on the iPhone 4, and it's supposed to be like amazing.
We lost our house in the tornado, so we're rebuilding it, and we're going to use we can use the iPad to actually control the lighting in the house as well as our air conditioning system.
The new iPad starts at $499, and the highlights are the 5-megapixel camera and the Retina display, which is only available on the iPhone right now. Montgomery native and Oscar-winning actress Octavia Spencer is set to receive another honor. The Alabama legislature, Governor Robert Bentley, and the mayor of Montgomery will honor her on Wednesday. They are planning an event on the steps of the State House to announce March 21st is Octavia Spencer Day in Alabama. Spencer is also expected to receive a key to the city. She captured the Oscar for her role as Minnie in the movie The Help. The film was based on a novel by UA alum Catherine Stockett.